Hello, ladies and gentlemen, one and all. Welcome to the 150th episode of the Just Interesting podcast. Fellas, we did it. We did it. We got there.
Wow.
To an arbitrary celebration point. An arbitrary milestone, but it feels kind of significant.
Yeah, for sure. It's something.
And how are we both celebrating this milestone today? Or how have your weeks been? Has there been a sense of anticipation for this moment?
Yes, as a simple answer. Looking forward to it. On the week, how's the week been? I was disrupted today. I'm getting my roof fixed, and they're taking off all the old slates, right? And they're banging the whole time. And then the bloke, just a quick story. The bloke comes down and says, "By the way, mate, I know that the roof the stuff needs to be replaced, but that's all I know, right? I know that needs to be done. I don't know anything about roofs." He comes down and says, "You're we began with an F this word. Your photosite is that's a bit damp, mate. So it's fine. But do you want to replace it?" And me going like, yeah, knowing nothing about roofs, I was like, yeah, no, if it needs to be done, it needs to be done. So now I've just said yes to something, and I have no idea how much that's going to cost.
Oh, he's got you on the hook there. He just made up a word, didn't he?
I was busily searching for roofing terms beginning with the letter F to see if I could find it, but no luck so far. So anyway, that's how my week's going.
Fair enough. That's been your conspiracy theory of the week, that this element of roofs don't exist.
Yeah, charge me more. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I'm sorry you had to go through that. And Robin, how's your week been?
Okay. Yeah, I've been excited for this episode. Looking forward to it. And I guess, yeah, I might as well say, I don't want to, this is a 150th celebration, but I have also become a father in the past 2 days.
Hey, congratulations. I didn't know if you wanted to say, so I was just going to throw the ball in your court.
I know. I was going to say, how about you, Robin, first, rather than speaking about a roof? But I don't want to put you on the spot if that wasn't going to be the case. So
I wasn't sure. I hadn't planned, but there's a possibility a screaming child could be brought in the background. So it's like,
hold on, do we need to call the police? Yeah.
Robin, the lengths that you go to prove that you're not a robot. I mean, like, you didn't have to do this. It was just a joke, Robin.
Well, it took many years of learning the best techniques, but it worked out in the end.
And it's like, what's the name? C5712. Oh my God, no, I mean
FN2187.
Yeah.
Well, many people in the chat are here with us celebrating our 150th. We've had many congratulations. And of course, many congratulations to you, Robin. From Matthew Wilson says congrats. Kilgore Trout says congratulations. Jonah Isaac, oh my God, that's amazing. Congrats, Robin. Hey now, Paulie, congratulations, Robin, on the baby. Really stepping on our 150th celebrations here, Robin. But hey, what can you do?
You asked me. What am I going to say? I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Wonderful.
It would be awkward. Would you have said something if I hadn't said anything? Would you have just been like?
I would have moved on. I would not have said anything. I would have been like, "Oh, great! Glad you had a good week."
I shouldn't have said anything.
Absolutely.
Can we rewind? Start again. Let's start this thing again. Let's get it back on track.
It's the beauty of live, Robin. If you're watching us live over on YouTube, then you were here and you witnessed it. In the actual podcast episode, who knows? Maybe the segment will be cut out. We don't know. We just don't know yet.
Depends who's editing it.
Indeed.
But if you are just joining us, what are we going to be discussing today on our 150th special episode? It is... Well, we're going back to our roots somewhat and discussing conspiracy theories, and specifically some of the weirdest, wackiest, and craziest conspiracy theories that we've encountered in all of our long years of looking and researching them. And I'm excited. I'm excited to be discussing these with you. It's always good to delve back into that deep trench of madness.
Back to the well, the dirty, disgusting well.
You know how much you like digging deep into a trench, Alex. of wet mystery.
Oh God. There we go. Yeah.
Is this a man who hasn't slept in like the last 3 days? Oh. Oh, C.S. Drummerson in the chat's just dropped $10. Oh my gosh, thank you
wow.
so much. And they say, the US was so excited for the 150th episode that we celebrated with a total solar eclipse. Happy Eclipse
Whoa.
Day. Congrats on
That's
150 episodes, and congratulations to Robin on becoming a father. Oh, thank you so
Lovely.
much, C.S. Drummerson. That's so kind. I hate to say though that solar eclipses don't actually exist, because in case you haven't heard, C.S. Drummerson, the Earth is flat, and therefore it doesn't make sense because the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun are actually just two tiny little orbits, two like tiny orbs. They're like 2 miles above the surface of the Earth. So I don't know what you claim to have seen today, but sorry to have
I
Uh,
to.
completely forgot about that.
No, broken news.
It
Yeah.
did get dark earlier, didn't it? Yeah, completely forgot. We had cloud here all day. So if the moon disappeared, unless it's now, is the eclipse now? Or is it night time? I don't
You
know
have no idea what the time is now, do
what's
you?
going on.
No idea.
Completely.
I don't think we could see it over here, could we? Like, as in,
No.
it was
It was in the
cloudy,
US specifically, right? Is it like is it
Yeah.
like Texas or something? Or it's in the South, right? So over the whole of the US, or is it?
I think there
We
was
only
a
gave a
there
part
was,
of it,
there
surely.
was a thin strip in the kind of like mid eastern section that could see the entire solar eclipse, but then I think it kind of
Okay.
the east and west coast I think only got like a 40% partial eclipse. I could be
Rubbish.
wrong, so please
Yeah.
correct me in the chat if I am. But yeah, but yeah. So also, in addition to discussing conspiracy theories today, as the title suggests, we are doing a live Q&A special. So we've gathered some comments and questions that people have left over on our Discord server and over on our Patreon page that I believe that you have the list, Robin. So should we jump into those first and then discuss conspiracy theories, or should we do conspiracies first or kind of intermingle them? As you can probably tell, this is a bit of a more free-flowing podcast episode.
We could ask a couple of questions, because it's possible that some of these will involve conspiracy theories that we might want to talk about.
That's a good
So,
idea.
yeah, why don't we ask a couple? Let's go to one of our Patreon members, James, who asked a couple of questions actually. But let's start with. Oh, this is a big one, and maybe a nice way to start this episode. And he asks, "What conspiracy theory do you think has actually been true all along?"
Oh,
Ooh,
Yeah, which one's the most true?
I mean,
that's a good question.
yeah, because...
I mean,
Sorry, Martin, go for it.
you go for it. I mean, there are some that have definitely been proven to be true, right? There are various ones, and I mean, one that I really like is Operation Northwards, which I think was potentially one of the first ones that was on
Yeah,
all-time conspiracies
first
Yeah.
or second video we made, I think.
channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like I need to remind myself exactly the ins and outs, but the file was declassified, and it suggested that actually there was a justification for a false flag event, and it was actually discussed between like the chiefs of staff, wasn't it? A document that was released later on in like the 90s, I think it was.
Yeah. The Operation Northwards was real. Yeah.
Yes.
The files have been declassified, so we know it was real, and we have the memo, I think, from JFK saying no,
Yeah.
we're not going to do that.
We're not good. Yeah,
Basically
but it
got all
was
the way
proposed
to JFK's desk, didn't it? And he just like
before it was shut down.
was just like,
Yeah.
what
Just how
are you
crazy
doing?
things were in the 60s? The chiefs of staff at the height of the military are saying, let's kill our own citizens to blame it on our enemies.
For anyone who may be listening and don't know what Operation Northwards is, would either of you like to give a brief kind of explanation as to what it is? It's basically the US planning a false flag attack.
I think. Yeah, it was planning a false flag on US soil to blame the Cubans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the height of the Cold War. I mean, I think that's the crux of it. It'd be good to actually go into it as an episode at some point. Just go back to some of those classic conspiracies.
Because of course that anticipates conspiracy theories, like the Iraq War and the real reason for going into Iraq and other stuff like that, where it's kind of Operation Northwoods was literally a suggestion by the US military to the President of the United States to stage terror attacks, killing their own citizens as a justification for invading Cuba, because they were paranoid about Cuba belonging to the communists. So I can absolutely believe why anyone who's heard of Operation Northwoods would think, oh yeah, America would lie about the reasons they're going into a place, and they'd fabricate evidence such as weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, to cover up the fact that we just want the oil.
Mm-hmm.
Although there was evidence, wasn't there, Martin, of weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? Right?
Yeah, so that segues nicely, thanks Robin, into one of my ridiculous conspiracy theories that was actually believed by a lot of people, and has Alex and Robin questioning whether it was true. But that was the Saddam Hussein in the early noughties, when the very popular PS2 came out, buying them up from the US, shipping them over to Iraq in order to build a supercomputer capable of various things, including building some pretty destructive weaponry. The Saddam Hussein PS2 theory is definitely up there in terms of like pretty crazy.
I just love the put yourself back into that holiday of when did the PS2 come out? Was this 2000?
It was like 2000.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it was like 2000, right?
40s, wasn't it?
Put yourself back into as a child on Christmas morn in the year 2000, 2001, and wondering, where's my PS2? Sorry, Timmy. Saddam Hussein bought up all of the PS2s to make weapons of mass destruction.
Turbo guy, but PlayStation 2s.
Yeah.
Just
another thing that they could blame Saddam Hussein on was the PS2 stock shortage.
So
exactly.
what's the real reason for the PS5 shortage? That's what I want to know. They said it was to do with supply chain issues.
It
was actually, I don't know, the war in Ukraine. Actually, was it? Did we get microchips from Ukraine?
Robert, you're inventing a conspiracy theory on the fly.
I don't know. I don't want to say yes or no because I have no idea. I doubt it though, right?
Well, not at the moment, anyway. Yeah.
It was interesting though that a lot of people ran with this report. There was one from 2000 from WND, who I don't actually know. I think they might be wind-up merchants, but anyway, the quote that they have is, "One expert I spoke with estimated that an integrated bundle of 12 to 15 PlayStations could provide enough computer power to control an Iraqi unmanned aerial vehicle." There we go, or UAV. So there we go.
I wonder how many you need these days, because presumably they're more complicated.
Yeah. What you mean? UAVs are more complicated?
Yeah, not PS2s.
Or it's just you can run it off just to.
Are you how many PS2s you would need, or how many?
Yeah, to do for a 2024 UAV. Yeah.
I imagine you would need far fewer PS5s. I feel like the computing power has gone up exponentially since the PS2. So yeah, maybe you could even just use it off one. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like if we keep going, then Sony's lawyers are going to get in touch at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Please don't speculate over what the PS5 can be used for.
But the basis of this was that at the time, pretty much all technology and computer hardware was banned from being shipped to Iraq, but apparently PS2s weren't included in this prohibition.
That was it. Yeah.
So that's why supposedly Saddam bought up 500 PS2s. Yeah.
Huh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Thanks for tracing the origin of that. That's cool.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed that theory, and I'll be honest, when you brought it up, I kind of thought that was one of those crazy stories that just was true. I didn't even realize that was something unproven or a conspiracy theory. I just thought that was like a wacky kind of thing that had happened.
I think it was bought. I think probably because of the time it came out as well.
Yeah.
It was lapped up by a lot of, I guess, early online digital publishers
I was
who
a
were like,
victim
why
of
don't
fake
why don't
news.
make-"
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly,
That
exactly.
was his whole defense in the international court trial for his war crimes.
Fake news, man.
Fake
I
news.
was a
Yeah.
victim of fake news. Yeah.
Fake news.
So remind me, what was the question, Robin? It was, what's,
Oh, so the original question that started this whole thing was from James, who said, "What conspiracy theory do you think has actually been true all along?"
I mean,
So what's yours?
I guess, I mean, Operation Northwoods has already been proven. So one that hasn't been proven that we kind of believe, I guess, is the question. I guess maybe, I mean, Jeffrey Epstein, surely, like him killing himself. Yeah,
That's
okay,
good.
sure.
That's-
Sure thing. But aside from that, I don't know if like I really kind of fully commit to being like, to like believe any of them. But there are ones that I find more interesting than others. Like the JFK ones have always been really interesting to me.
Of course, yeah, that was compelling. Yeah,
Those are quite compelling.
Yeah,
But
there's a
yeah.
fair few that we did back in the early days. I mean, part of the conspiracy was that it turned out to be true, right? Like the Ford Pinto conspiracy, that the
yes.
the cost of
Yeah.
the basically Ford Pinto had an engine. The engine was towards the back of the vehicle, which meant if it was rear-ended, like it would blow up basically. And they estimated that the payouts for people dying and the insurance claim payouts when people inevitably died from this vehicle being faulty were less than it would cost to recall the vehicle. So they just let them go and let them run out.
Yeah.
So they valued their money over human life. So that one turned out to be true, but I guess part of the story is that's what happened, right? I don't know whether it's a conspiracy in itself, or just kind of a part of the industry, isn't it? I mean, that's unfortunately that's what insurance companies do, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? When does something cross the line? I think that counts as a conspiracy because a group of people with knowledge decided to take an action that and that they then tried to conceal.
Yeah, that
So
counts.
that's a conspiracy. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
The other one that I believe fully is that rocks are actually soft and they only get hard when anyone touches them. So
That's great.
Rocks, not nothing rhyming with rocks.
get your mind out of the gutter, Martin.
And it's socks, right?
Disgusting.
Socks.
Socks, of course. Yeah, socks. Yeah.
Bit of information there about Alex's personal life, everyone. Just
Yeah.
in case you're interested.
Whoa, what have I done?
I said they only get hard when people touch them. Oh dear.
Why did you have to take my funny conspiracy theory and take it and ruin it and make it horrible? Oh, are there any other questions? Moving on rapidly.
Oh yeah, we've got more. Yeah.
Lovely.
So James has sent some more in, but I think I'll move on to. We'll come back to James's other questions. Sorry, I'll just give someone else a shout. Amy Licious, another Patreon supporter, said, "The only conspiracy theory I can think of that hasn't been discussed much online is targeted individuals. On a different idea, interesting territory disputes. For example, Canada and Denmark fighting over Hans Island. I think it's been sorted now, but I like how they kept leaving a flag and a bottle of alcohol to claim the territory."
That sounds like a good one. I don't know the latter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
new.
interesting.
And what goes
Yeah.
on in Canada is kind of it's a mystery to a lot of the world, isn't it? We just kind of
Is it because no one
It's a nice
really
place.
like? I mean, I don't diminish Canada's place on the map, but like people don't tend to really care as much, do they? Because it's in popular culture, it's just not as prominent.
yeah. Well, that reminds me of something again involving Canada. I think it's called the Pig War, and it happened in the 19th century. In the middle of the 19th century, there's an island off the west coast of Canada where British Canada claimed it, so did the USA, and they just kind of. It's called the Pig War because they they sent a man there to settle it, and he started a small farm with a pig, and then like the Americans shot it or something, and they're like, "You don't live here. We killed your pig." So then Canada went to war with America over this tiny island, which is only big enough for a man and his pig.
That's how real wars start.
That is
Shoot the pig, you're asking for trouble.
I'm sure people know. If you're watching this and you've heard of that, you know more details than I do. That was my badly remembered version of the pig war. But yeah, Canada and territorial disputes. They get tense, don't they? They get tense. Bottles of alcohol, killing pigs. It's bad.
And there's so much space in Canada. It's surprising. You'd think they would just be like, oh, whatever, who cares? This is I'll just go take that massive area over there.
That's how it starts, Alex. Before you know, British Columbia's gone.
Damn.
They'll take a while.
There you go. So what was the first part of that question? Targeted individuals.
Targeted individuals.
I'll
I don't know.
confess my ignorance.
I remember targeted individuals,
Oh yeah.
but I don't remember what it was. I remember it being a thing. I have to look this one up now.
Yeah, so thanks for that question, Amy. I'm glad we read it before I read it aloud live on YouTube.
If anyone in the comments want to enlighten us about it, then that would be great.
I mean, there's a band called Targeted Individuals.
No free promotion.
Oh yeah, whoops.
No, I'm joking.
Well, whilst we check up on targeted individuals, great question, by the way, Amy. Thank you. How about a question from one of our supporters on Discord? Good old Simon Workman.
Oh, yes.
And he wants to know, out of all the conspiracy theories you've looked into, which one do you think has the best chance of actually being true? Oh, we already had that one.
Yeah. Kind of similar, but thank you for the
Alternative
question.
question.
It's a good question.
What's one conspiracy theory you wish was true?
Ooh. A conspiracy theory you wish was true.
Goodness me. That's tough.
Yeah.
It's
so tough.
I mean, I guess maybe it would probably be one of the ones where it's like a celebrity has actually faked their own death and is living in Cuba.
Yeah.
Like Elvis is
That could be cool.
That'd be wild. Yeah, because a lot of conspiracy theories are kind of negative. Like, I don't wish that they were true. Like, the moon landings being faked. Who wants that to be true? You don't want that to be true, surely.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, extraterrestrials, the existence of aliens would be quite cool if it was just proven, fully, without doubt.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's quite a broad range there, but of course, that'd be a good one.
The whole Roswell thing, there's definitely... that's one that I can't really let go of. That's one that I think something happened that they were trying to cover up a little bit more significant than what they claimed. It's just a spy balloon. Something happened with Roswell. Something weird happened there. But so that's one that I kind of wish were true. Because apart from the 3 dead aliens that they found in the crash, nobody got hurt by Roswell. You know, that's a conspiracy theory where no humans were hurt in the making of this production.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one, and that's kind of like the what's the word? The Rosetta Stone of like those kind of alien conspiracy theories that kind of kicked it all off, didn't it? That one,
Yeah,
and what was the other one that happened that same year? Was it that same year or the year before?
Ooh, not sure. Which one are you thinking of?
Oh gosh. Oh, that's going to annoy me. It was another like UFO crash, but it happened in a very similar time to Roswell. Quite
I was
well known.
to talk about Shag Harbor.
That's what I'm thinking of, Shag Harbor. Yeah.
So a tiny bit later, wasn't it?
Canada.
Yeah.
Like 50s, I want to say.
Yeah.
Was that a bit
certainly at the
after?
height of the UFO kind of mania. But yeah, I like that one. In fact, I was going to mention it when we're talking about which ones we think could be true.
Yeah. Could be true.
I thought were true all along. Yeah, and Shag Harbor is one that 100% something happened there, right? Then the U.S. Navy turns up in Canadian waters to dredge a lake for something that was seen descending into the lake the night before. Something happened. Too many people saw something and described it the same way for there not to have been something that was flying in the air and then wasn't suddenly over Shag Harbour. Question is whether we think it was a spy plane or UFO, alien UFO, that is. Of course it was a UFO. No one looking at it knew what it was. But I do find if it was a plane of the size and shape that people described, in the kind of cylindrical, kind of cuboidal shape, I'm like, that's a weird plane. That's a...
Yes.
It needs wings and, more of a kind of triangular shape to really be an effective plane. As far as my limited knowledge of aerodynamics extends, I'm not aware of many square planes just kind of tumbling through the air.
No. It's a good one, though. Was it little Michael who saw it? Is it called Michael? I think it's called Michael. Can't remember. I think the Hollow Earth theory would be quite fun. Just little people, little aliens living inside the Earth. I mean, there'd be a few questions about scientific studies and research about the composition of the Earth, which might cause a few issues. But having some little people there, you've been living inside the Earth all this time. Welcome to the outside. It'd be fun. Introduce.
One thing I've never understood about the Hollow Earth theory is what do the people who believe in the Hollow Earth and the civilization that lives underground, do they think they're deliberately hiding from us, or do they think they just don't know about us?
I think it's the latter. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I've heard different variations of it.
Oh, really?
I've heard some that are also kind of like, it gets into kind of weird pro kind of like white nationalism and like Nazism. Well, yeah, there's like some theories that like there are UFOs that are seen emerging from the Hollow Earth with like swastikas and stuff.
Maybe I'll repeal my
and it's
initial.
Like
yeah, no, but it wouldn't be great if this one was.
Oh, because there's that. Is it that's the Antarctic base? Is it
the moon base? Is it connected?
It's basically that whole like the Nazis on the moon, also the Nazis
in Antarctica,
in the Hollow Earth.
Yeah. And Hitler fled to one of them, and it's
a similar thing. But I like that one as well, because I think that one would be nice if it was true, because it suddenly opens up like a whole nother world that we can have access to and explore.
Once we kill the inhabitants of
destroyed every last man, woman, and child.
Maybe that's what Kim Jong-un is doing in North Korea with all those underground nuclear tests. Those aren't tests, folks. That's the beginning of his campaign against the Hollow Earth.
Indeed.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
People have been hearing my dog in the background.
It's been unbearably loud, Martin.
I know. It's the difficulties with. I think he sat down now. He's just a bit noisy. I need to carpet the place, don't I?
Yeah. Well, actually, while we're doing technical
go and get your bed.
Robin, would you mind just turning up your mic ever so slightly, and then I can turn Martin's down a bit.
So sorry. Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more.
Is that better? Is that all right?
Maybe a little more. You're sat slightly further away than normal, I think.
Yeah, that's true. It's positioned in a slightly. I'm in a different room to usual.
I think that's better.
Setup is slightly different.
So
I apologise for everyone who's been having to listen to me with a lower volume than Alex and Martin, because it's painful enough having to listen to me, but having to strain to listen to me is just even worse.
So, any more questions from Discord or Patreon, Robin?
Oh yeah, we've got a whole bunch. Rocket Summer says, I have a burning question, also conspiracy related. Do you think being a conspiracy theorist can be healthy in a way? Watching your old channel, which shall not be named, was very helpful to me in many ways, trying to navigate suffering from paranoia. So, firstly, sorry you had that problem, Rocket Summer.
Yeah.
Really grateful we could help in any way with that. But yeah, what do you think? Is it healthy to be a conspiracy theorist?
That's a really great question. That's a really great question. I think it's, if you're using it as a way to promote critical thinking, then yes. I think a lot of like conspiracy theories actually go the opposite way, which I don't think is helpful. Like, they can excuse anything. And I think what we always tried to do on that channel was we present what the conspiracy theory was, and then we kind of explain the evidence why this might not be true. And I think that that's kind of like a good way of doing it. So yeah, I think it can be healthy to have a natural skepticism about and not just take things for at face value. Yeah, yeah. How about you guys?
That's
What do you
because,
think?
I mean, yeah, the latter point there, that's becoming increasingly apparent, isn't it, these days? When it seems like, yeah, items you would previously have considered conspiratorial are turning out to be true. So, yeah, critical thinking for sure, but, I think we could definitely segue into some of these more outlandish conspiracies that we have on our list. Like I've got people with ADHD are actually glitching through different dimensions. That's a theory. That's a wild theory.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There isn't much evidence for it, hence why it's literally just the title of the theory I've got down.
Well, someone in the chat actually said they missed the conspiracy files. I can't. Oh yeah, Eli Cortez says bring back the conspiracy files. And yeah, I remember doing some wacky theories on that, and you'd have to kind of we used to have to sit there, and one of us would be the kind of like, okay, good cop, bad cop with this conspiracy theory.
Oh,
One of us will be slightly more pro it, and some of them were very difficult to even.
some of them were bizarre because we want to cover all sorts, and some of them are clearly like 0.0001% of people in the world believe it, but we wanted to cover it because it's just outlandish and quite funny. And we were meant to be recording it for half an hour, and it'd be like 2 hours later, just in floods of tears of laughter, trying to say with a straight face some of the components of something that's just completely insane.
There were so many. It
would always finish with whether the kind of case should be proven or the file should be left open, right? The conspiracy file should be left open for more investigation, which is quite a nice way of kind of saying, make up your own mind, but come on now.
Yeah.
For some reason, the one of those episodes that really, not the episode itself, but like one of the theories, the many theories that we discussed in those episodes that sticks with me is there was one episode we did about, was it psychics helping to solve murders? And there was some woman in New Orleans who solved a murder. But it was kind of, the police had already solved it. Yeah, they'd found the body and the suspect. And she was like, it's him. They're like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. This man we've already arrested, or something like that. That one sticks with me. Just 'cause it was so bizarre. And the killer clowns, of course. Killer clowns.
Oh.
We never
Did
did
you know,
that
guys?
as a conspiracy files, but yeah, the killer clowns were.
Anyone at home, Alex
Oh, don't
fueled.
grass.
He made/fueled the killer clown craze.
He did. He invented
It was ridiculous, genuinely.
No, I didn't. I
There
exacerbated
was
a problem.
There was a
at
little
the-
story. There was a little story about like some clowns going around a neighborhood, and then Alex like, boom, Facebook video, killer clowns are terrorizing America. Got like 100 million views, and then all of a sudden,
look,
it's like
if,
a repeat copycat offenders all across the
it's
country.
it's not my fault. Okay, if we're going into it, Martin, you guys hired me. And you were like relentless. You were like, I don't care what you pump out. Just get those views up. That's what you said.
That's definitely not. Shut up. That's definitely not true.
Yeah, that's what you said. So, whose fault is it really? That's all I'm saying.
Oh goodness, that was quite spectacular. How you managed to do that, Alex, starting the killer clown craze.
I'm not proud of it.
Did anyone die from that?
Don't say that.
I'm sure no one died. Everyone's fine. It's fine.
Oh, now I feel like I'm responsible for murder. No, we need to clarify some things. It was already trending. I just kind of made a video that was really popular on Facebook. But hey, yeah.
Looking at the live comments in the chat, well, there's a whole bunch about Martin's dog. They want to see Doggy.
They want to see the dog.
see Martin's doggy,
I think he's actually calmed down now. I don't want to kind of.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well, unless everyone's like, it's okay for here, but for the audio listeners, it's just going to be. They're not going to get the view of the dog. They're just going to get the feet, the paws.
Maybe at the end as a treat.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I like it.
But there's a comment from Dylan Nolder who says, my icon picture is the Tic Tac UFO pic I took when I saw it. It moved
Oh,
weird sideways and took off.
what?
No way.
It's fascinating that you actually saw that, because the Tic Tac UFO is a thing. Lots of people have seen that shape UFO.
Actually, do you know what?
Something.
I completely that slipped my mind. But in terms of favorite conspiracy theories of like or maybe like believable ones, that's actually the those military UFO sightings. That video, those are very compelling. Maybe not as like
Yes, from the
aliens,
jets.
but
Yeah.
as like technology that we don't know what it is,
Yes.
undisclosed, top secret military technology. Yeah, that's really creepy, and
Yeah,
quite a
absolutely.
compelling conspiracy theory.
And now we have the US government, and definitely the military at least, saying, yes, UFOs are real, we're going to take them seriously for the first time in donkey's years, which is, a weird turn. It's kind of weird how some things come full circle. I think you mentioned at the beginning of this episode, Martin, how a lot of things have been proven true that were once dismissed as conspiracy theories. Sadly, nearly all of them to do with the government doing nasty things to innocent people. So the fact that now that we're on the feels like we're on the verge of UFOs maybe being confirmed by governments, particularly. I was going to say a government as enlightened as the US government, but maybe that's too kind.
I mean, this is
Given
the same
recent
government
precedents.
that,
Yeah.
like, with all the like Operation Northwoods. There's, it's no surprise why they're like U.S. citizens and don't trust their government so much, and have come up with all of these conspiracy theories. Yeah, yeah, they've
True.
have a
True.
kind of reputation for lying to their citizens, I guess.
It's funny, isn't it, how maybe it's an indictment of freedom of speech and freedom of thought that America seems to be the hotbed of conspiracy theories. Obviously, they arise elsewhere too, but it seems to be particularly a problem with America. Whereas, you look at Russia, like, the Russians aren't known for their conspiracy theories. I mean, what do they actually think? Do they go around like, the government's out to get us? Because then it's like, well, yes, they are.
I mean, you say that though, Robin. There are some pretty zany theories
Yeah.
that originated in Russia. One of them that I had on my list as one of the kind of weirdest and craziest ones was the mud flood conspiracy theory. Do you remember this? When I mentioned with the conspiracy files, ones that were very difficult, this was a difficult one to get through.
Yes.
Because it's just so like,
The mud flood. Yeah.
it's insane, but in a kind of more complicated way than something like the flat Earth. At least that's very simple. The names on the, it's the names on the tin. Whereas the mud flood theory was, it had a kind of background which was kind of like the pseudo historical conspiracy theories that originated with Russian nationalism, and it was about this previous massive empire called the Tartarian Empire that was basically like this massive previous empire in Russia, but like Tartar was like the original name for Russia, and it was like comprised of Central Asia, and yeah, the theory was, see, like, I'm even kind of getting confused just thinking about it. But the theory was that, like, when you look at old pictures from like the turn of the century and you would see images of cities, you would see these massive ornate buildings and then just like some wooden houses and huts and stuff. And the theory was that there was this old civilization and then a bunch of mud floods around the world completely decimated the population, and like the new population just kind of rebuilt around the ruins of what was left over.
Right. Okay.
And that's why
Interesting.
there was this disparity between like old architecture and new modern architecture. And also there's the fact that like a lot of old buildings have kind of sunk into the ground. And so it must have been caused by a massive global mud flood. Aside from the fact that I can't understand how more Earth would have been generated, like to cover the entirety of the Earth.
Yes.
What would they make of those houses? Those in Western cities, particularly in the UK, but I think in America too, where there's kind of like terraces where they're built into the ground.
Though I mean,
Above the
like,
basement. You walk down steps and you get to the bottom floor. There's the person who believes in that theory would go to one of those houses and be like, "Oh my god, it's proof."
that is the primary evidence for this theory, Robin. Yeah.
Right.
They would just
Bit
be
of an
like,
issue.
Are on
look,
hills.
look at these houses. They're in the ground. Mud flood.
Nobody would build a house like this.
Yeah.
I think someone's described it as the QAnon of architecture, basically. It's of architectural history. Yeah.
Speaking of sunken architecture, actually, I'd completely forgotten about Atlantis. That's
Yeah.
I don't know if you call that conspiracy
Oh.
theory because no one's trying to cover it up. I don't think, but I want to believe in Atlantis.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Yeah,
Hidden cities being discovering them now. Wouldn't that be so cool?
that'd be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that would be cool.
Especially because it feels like we've kind of discovered everything kind of on land.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
doesn't it? So
Oh, you should have a chat with James Cameron, Martin. He'd be thrilled to talk to you for the
Good.
next 7 years about exploring the oceans.
yes,
You
yes.
get a part in the next Avatar, or the 6th Avatar, or whichever one
Hmm.
they're making at the moment.
Yeah.
Is
What about-
Daniel Radcliffe in an Avatar movie, Martin? Are you slated to appear?
Oh, yes, yeah. Primarily as horseback riding stunt double. I don't ride yet, but I'm going to learn.
Presumably not like
Yeah.
a normal horse, one of those alien horses that they have.
No, tiny little horse.
Oh,
Tiny horse. He's very small, Daniel.
okay.
Yep. Very, very small. So I've got to also learn to ride a small horse, and they're going to use some forced perspective so that otherwise it would look ridiculous. It would look a daddy long legs on top of a horse. It's no good. Can't do that. But anyway, yeah, me and Daniel, we're just discussing terms right now. But yeah, that's happening. Yeah.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear the career's still going.
Thanks.
My conspiracy theory is that Martin has actually never met Daniel Radcliffe, and this is all made up. I've never
What are you
seen.
talking about?
I don't believe that I've ever seen Martin in the credits for anything.
Why? I'm not going to use my real name. Come on.
I just, look, do your own research. That's all I'm saying. Martin,
Daniel,
Daniel Radcliffe
why-
gate.
Daniel doesn't want to be known to have a body double, and for obvious reasons. It would just diminish his credibility, right?
Right. Okay.
Like,
yeah.
no
suppose,
major
yeah,
actors have
yeah.
body doubles. Like Tom Cruise, he says he does all his own stunts. He doesn't. He doesn't, but he has too much of an ego to get anyone else in and put on the credits. So yeah,
It's
Yeah.
actually Nicolas Cage does all of Tom Cruise's stunts.
sometimes, yeah,
Got to pay the bill. A man's got to pay the bills.
exactly. It's big egos with these short men. That's the idea. Yeah, yeah.
So going back to questions submitted by our Patreon members and YouTube members, we've got a casual gamer wants to know which conspiracy theory do you like best, as in which one do you enjoy exploring the most? And incidentally, casual gamer says they also love all things inner Earth, which hollow Earth.
Nice.
So glad to have ticked that off your list, casual gamer. Yeah, which conspiracy theories do you enjoy the most?
For me, the one that I sprang to mind that I really love is the Mandela effect and all the Mandela effects that you can get. And I love the kind of the absolute, the balls in that conspiracy theory to just kind of make that leap of like, oh, Berenstain Bears? Nah, I remember them as Berenstain Bears. Oh no, the other way around. So because of that, I'm slipping through dimensions. Like,
Yes, when you put it like that.
it's literally that Simpsons meme of, could I possibly be remembering this incorrectly? No, it's the universe that's wrong.
Nice.
Yeah. But there, I think that one's really fun to explore because there's, even if you don't believe in the eventual, like the conspiracy theory element, there's something that you can get from that, and the weird phenomenon of like false memories and, you swear you remembered something a certain way, but actually it was wrong the whole time. Like the Monopoly man never having a monocle. What's that about? Yes, he did. He absolutely did. but he never had a monocle.
Wow.
Never. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What other ones were there?
In my head.
There's a few in America that I remember, like Fruit Loops, and it's like spellings of stuff.
Fruit
of the Loom is a big
Loops,
one, isn't it?
Fruit of the Loom
Yeah.
without the cornucopia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one is it. Is the real one without or the real one with?
No one knows now.
The real ones without. It's never had it, but people swear that though. And that one was really weird because
Which one was that?
it was the Fruit of the Loom, like the clothing company,
The clothing.
and people
logo.
sweared that there was the fruit in the logo had a cornucopia behind it.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
But it makes sense.
Let's look this up now.
And there's even space for it when they got because people have doctored
Yeah,
the logo to have the cornucopia in it, and it's like, yeah, it fits. It works really well. So why isn't it there in the real one? It'll be better with it. It's so strange, that one.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think for me, it's definitely JFK is the gift that keeps on giving. Whoa!
Oh God, it's a cat. It's a cat. Okay, you've got a different animal. But
oh, look.
Oh, hello,
it's a
cat.
It's a cat. There we go.
What's his name?
This is Blue.
Hello, Blue.
Remember Blue? Don't know why you're being a nuisance. Okay. Oh no, now the dog's coming. Okay, this is going. Oh no, he's hissing. Okay, this is going wrong. No. Can you? No. Oh, for God's sake. Oh God.
The thing is, folks, you're watching this. If you're watching this live, this has never happened when we record these things beforehand and don't live stream.
Oh dear.
This never happens.
No, they decided to just to suddenly kick off.
That
no.
was beautiful.
Kicking off.
Can you not do that? Don't do that.
I think Blue
That's
is
coming.
working for the CIA. I meant
Oh, I'm hearing the hissing.
This is a
gotta disrupt this podcast.
This is a nightmare. Okay, the cat's on the table. He's not coming over this way. Dog stays over there. But I think we're okay.
We're okay.
Okay.
Isn't there a conspiracy theory that the government controls animals? Or like they control birds, isn't that it? They're all kind of spy cameras. Maybe the government...
Oh yeah, well, the birds don't exist theory, right?
Your cat and your dog are currently sleeper agents for the government, and they're trying to silence us. That's what's happening.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Speaking of sleeper agents, I think my favourite new conspiracy, and it's going to be my favourite for a long time, is the whole Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah.
She's the secret Democratic Party psyops agent designed to become super successful so that she can persuade people to vote for the Democratic Party. I'm just like, how many, if this is true, and it's obviously not, but if it were true, how many other pop stars did they try? Like, is she the one in a million that they've been funding? Instead of doing actual political campaigning with the money, they've just been trying to make pop stars for decades.
And also the fact that if they've been sowing these seeds for this whole time, now's the time to reap the reward, surely. Like, she is the most popular pop star on earth, and she hasn't told anyone to vote for the Democrats. I think her entire political stance has always just been go and vote, which is a pretty normal response. So if she is a Democratic psyops campaign, then they need to get their money back, really, because she hasn't done anything.
They were exposed, Alex. That's why it hasn't happened. Because
Okay, yeah.
Another part of the theory was that they had rigged the Super Bowl so that Travis would win, and she could then go out on the trophy stand. I don't know what they do at the end of it. Do they go and do a trophy thing? I don't know. I guess they do.
There is a trophy.
Even if they
Lombardi trophy, right?
Yeah.
Even if they didn't, they would do it for Taylor Swift for sure. They would make one just for her.
That's true. Yeah, they probably would.
Yeah.
But because they got rumbled by the truthers. Yeah, the truthers online. They rumbled them, so the whole plan got kiboshed right at the moment where it was at peak success. So there you go, Alex. Just so you know, that's the truth.
Fair enough. I just want to cut away for a second because Nightmare Lover in the chat says you still sound a bit soft, Robin. Do you mind just pumping up those numbers?
You want me to be harder? Okay. How about I move the microphone closer. Is that any better?
That's louder. That's louder.
That's
I'm
definitely
so
louder.
sorry for being so quiet on this live stream. Typical that I should make such a rookie error.
It's almost like we
Right,
haven't done
clumsily.
149 of these before.
It's almost like there could be a sleeping baby in the background.
Yeah, if you've heard that, sorry.
No, not at all. But I imagine that keeping the volume down is possibly part of the plan.
It's all a learning curve, isn't it? Oof.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, any more questions?
Oh, yeah, we got more. We got
Lovely.
So going back to James, whose question I read first in this episode, he's got some more questions. We already touched upon this, James, so I won't ask Martin to explain yet again, but he does want to know what was Martin's big break in Hollywood before he became Daniel Radcliffe's body double. So,
Yeah, no, the big break wasn't actually in Hollywood, but it was in New York on Broadway. Before Warhorse became mechanical, I was the back end of the horse in Warhorse and had to stand like this with my hands arched over my head for 3.5 hours, including the interval, because you're not allowed to take the horse off stage, during the whole of Warhorse. Yeah, that was the first gig. Yeah,
pretty good, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did well there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Didn't you also get cast as the horse in Equus with Daniel?
I've been many
Isn't that how
horses.
you-
Yeah, seahorses, real horses. Yep, yeah. Daniel, there was a crossover there.
Yeah.
There was the Pegasus in Harry Potter. They say it was CGI, but it was a mix. Really, it's a mix of me and CGI.
And you were always the rear end, right?
Well, it's my speciality. Yeah, can't be the face of a Pegasus, can I?
I don't know.
Not grand enough.
I could see you carrying off a bearded Pegasus, a fine, luscious bearded Pegasus.
Right, okay, so I'm just going to make
dear.
a note for next time. For the channel graphics in future, we need Martin photoshopped as a Pegasus. A bearded Pegasus, okay. This is how inside jokes are made in this podcast. Nice.
There's another question from James. It's for you, Alex.
Oh, okay.
Will Alex ever find Dick Turpin?
I mean, honestly, James, we did find Dick Turpin. We tried our hardest anyway, but I think that mission is kind of as near as we can make it completed. And yeah, if anyone hasn't seen it, then why not head over to our channel Uncovered? And yeah, I'm sure we could post a link to it maybe, but yeah, we actually went to the final resting place of Dick Turpin. We did a Ouija board over his grave and tried our best to contact him. So I actually feel like the ball is in his court now.
You lazy thing.
Dick Turpin's got to find us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't just do an Ouija board on the grave. We did it at midnight, didn't we? Or 1 a.m. It was really late at night.
We
and it was
invited
cold
as
and windy.
many spirits as possible to get involved.
Yeah. We had a quick kebab and then went down to Dick Turpin's grave.
We
German
did.
kebab, yeah.
But in all seriousness, though, that was like a really fun couple of days, and that was really nice to hang out with you guys again in person and film one of those. And it's definitely something that we'd like to do more of. I know.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And York is such a lovely city, which is where.
Oh,
we
yeah.
went, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
York
It
is
is.
gorgeous. Yeah. Just go there for fun sometime. Maybe. Who knows?
It is. If you're not from the UK and you're visiting, it's one of the places a lot of people do go and visit, isn't it? It's on the kind of the tourist map between, most people go to London, just London, but London, Liverpool, York, Chester tends to be one where people go because there's historical cities, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about many conspiracy theories involving those other cities, except Liverpool, of course. Paul McCartney is dead.
Yeah, well, Liverpool could be a good one. I'm trying to think. I mean, Chester's got a. There must be some historical Roman history mystery that can be done there.
Hauntings,
Yeah,
ghosts.
you'd
in
think
Chester.
so.
Yeah.
You'd think so. Lots and lots of old buildings. Yeah.
Alternatively, you guys can come up here to Scotland. There's quite a lot up
Oh,
here.
yes.
We've got the Falkirk
Absolutely.
Triangle
That's true.
of UFO sightings.
I still want to go to Loch Ness. We need to do Loch Ness.
I've been to Loch Ness. Didn't spot Nessie, sadly.
Didn't dredge it. No.
No.
Go diving, right? We can do diving in Loch Ness. Yeah.
No one will stop you if
Yeah.
you try.
Well, I'm a trained air pump engineer, so I was gonna man the air pump while you two went down to the bottom of the on a line.
Sounds like a good plan.
That sounds safe. I'm all
These
for
are,
that.
these are 19th century diving suits, by the way, because
Yeah.
we can't afford
Of course.
modern scuba gear. So
Fine. Fine.
No, but that sounds fun. Yeah, doing another one of those at some point, hopefully in the not too distant future.
oh yeah, definitely. Stay tuned, and in the meantime, go over to Uncovered if you haven't already. Subscribe. We're putting up videos one a month, little kind of video essays, more in the line of what we used to do on the channel that shall not be named, as well as migrating the similar videos that we made and we're putting up on the Just Interesting podcast YouTube channel. We're moving them across to Uncovered as well. But yeah, and so the Just Interesting podcast channel, which is the channel upon which this is being streamed live, is going to be just the podcast, just to keep it simple and streamlined.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Keep it easy.
I just got
Are
a
there any
link.
more questions?
I'll pop it in the chat.
Oh, Alex, is gonna-
There you go.
excellent.
I'll just pop a link
Pop a
to
link
it
in the
in the
chat.
chat if anyone.
I will put it in
Nice.
the description as well, and maybe put a card in the video. And for those of you listening to us on the podcast platform of your choice, hopefully there was enough information there in that spiel for you to find the channel if you're interested. And if you're not interested, go and check it out because, do it.
Very nice.
I don't know if there's any more questions from the audience, but I have a question for you both.
Oh, go on.
Are there any videos that you've made or like that we made on either this channel or the previous channel that shall not be named or on Uncovered? Aside from what we've already spoken about, I'm thinking like past videos. Are there any ones that stand out to you as like your particular favorite, even if they weren't like the highest production quality, but like, just ones that stood out to you? Put you right on the spot there for that.
And this wasn't one that I made specifically, but one that was on the channel very early on when I joined All Time Conspiracies way back in the day. But that was the mysterious death of Nikola Tesla.
Oh,
And I don't know if you've seen that one. It was only a couple of minutes long, maybe like 90 seconds, 2 minutes. Back in the olden days of YouTube before watch time became a big thing. And the production value was really good, and the soundtrack's also really good. And then it's about Tesla. And so that one stands out. I don't know if anyone remembers that one in the chat. It was a long time ago, like late 2013 probably.
I wonder if
But
that's
that one always.
because that's one like from quite a while ago. Sometimes you can find our old ones like on other websites that have just been kind of like ripped and
Hovering around.
uploaded or syndicated elsewhere. So I wonder if you could actually find that one.
I wonder, maybe.
You're right, Martin. I was proud of that too. I think that was like one of the first ones where we kind of pushed the boat out a bit in terms of doing some funky graphics animations and things like that. And there was, in a similar vein, we did, was it one about aspartame? If that's
Oh
what
yeah,
it's
aspartame.
about,
Yeah.
being giving you cancer, which was I think the first one we did with a voiceover.
Yes.
When YouTube started to transition from text-based videos to voiceover-led stuff, and we had a graphics artist, an animator, who I said, "Oh, can you make a little title for this video that looks like this?" And it was I gave them. I think it was Prometheus. The film Prometheus had come out a couple of years earlier, and I said, "Oh, can you copy that title style and kind of recreate that similar to that?" And the graphics animator said, "Yeah, I worked on that." I was like,
Oh, really? Wow.
Double take. And they said, "Yeah, I made this title sequence for the film Prometheus." And I was like, "So you can do it?" it's a coincidence. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
I did.
wow.
Good job, yeah. That was a cool
That's-
moment.
That's
I
really
like
cool.
that, yeah.
And that must have been so good for them as well to be like, you just can't unprompted. I really like this title sequence. Can you do
Yeah,
something
can you do
similar?
that?
And they're like, well, of course I am.
really cool.
That happens.
He is me. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope they were pleased. Like it wasn't. They never said.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
We do have there is a conspiracy theory that I was going to mention earlier, but I would like to mention it just because it means a lot to me.
Okay. Okay.
I'm joking about that. It doesn't mean a lot to me. But what it is the JFK conspiracy is the thing that got me into conspiracy theories. Particularly the film JFK from 1991, like kind of opened my eyes to the world of conspiracy theories, I guess. Although that I wouldn't say that's so much a conspiracy theory because there's so much about the JFK assassination that's unsolved even today. So JFK is the gift that keeps on giving, and then the whole Kennedy curse, right, is fascinating, and that's just a wonderful kind of. Is the family cursed? It's kind of weird. All the miserable things that have happened to them. And then there's the theory that we discussed towards the end of our time on the channel that shall not be named, which is the underground Kennedys theory, or the King Kennedys, where the Kennedy curse is explained by the fact that they're all faking their deaths because they're actually like an alternative royal family in America ruling through these puppet presidents in the White House. And every time a Kennedy dies in a tragic accident, it's because the previous Kennedy has really died in this underground kingdom and they've kind of inherited the throne. So they fake their death to then become the real king or queen of the USA.
Wow.
And I just love that theory so much because
That's cool.
It's cool and it's stupid, but also it's kind of clever. It's like, yeah, I see what you've done there. You've joined some dots, and it's
Something
I
really
like it.
Yeah, I love the creativity that's gone into that.
Yeah, it's a good one. But it's not. It's not. It should be more popular. I feel like it doesn't come up much. It should come up a bit more. That would
King
be my mission in
Kennedys.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do they explain? What's his name? RFK Jr. at the moment. Is it him? Who's the one that currently?
Yeah,
running
that's
for
it. Yeah,
president?
what's the explanation there? Yeah, it might be like he's a false flag, maybe.
Well, didn't all the Kennedy family basically came out and said, "Don't vote for him"? So maybe that's
Disowned him.
maybe he's gone renegade. Yeah, he's going to blow the whole whistle.
Unless he's the only genuine one. Yeah, he's like, no, I want to be democratically elected. I don't want to be a secret king appointed by your weird rituals underground. I'm going to be elected. So the whole Kennedy family is like, no, we've got to disown him so people won't elect him. Otherwise, he'll ruin the whole thing.
Yeah.
There you go.
I like it.
Exposed. Truth. On this channel. You heard it here first.
Now, please never repeat it to anyone.
Shall we just go for the kind of triple hat of things that will get us banned on YouTube?
Oh, sure.
Because
Yeah.
one of
let's
the
go for it.
craziest conspiracy theories that I remember just the shock I had when I woke up one morning and saw it and like, what is going on? Pizzagate.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about that. Yeah,
Pizzagate. Wow.
that's a blast from the past, isn't it?
Yeah. And there are still some people who love it.
So
I guess it's kind of got absorbed into QAnon. But
yeah, that was kind of the precursor, I guess. So it was that there was a specific pizza place in DC that all the kind of elite politicians, and it was like a satanic pedophile sex ring or whatever.
yeah.
And what was the evidence for it? Like the initial evidence?
I think Hillary Clinton went into the pizza shop as part of her
Oh, was it actually?
meeting and
Was
greeting
it?
people.
Was
or
it in the
something like that.
emails? Was it like a code or something in the emails that were Hillary's emails?
I don't remember.
I think.
All I remember is that
it.
it hit the headlines when there was that man who believed it. Like he was an out of work actor, and he had grabbed a shotgun and went into the
Yeah.
pizza parlor, didn't he? To
Oh,
say,
yeah.
show me the underground secret rooms in the back. Show it to me, and that's when it hit
Mental.
the headlines. Yeah, completely insane.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't remember what the actual evidence for it was, if there was any.
Well,
Yeah, I need to
not-
look
I
one up
mean,
again. I kind of blanked out my mind.
Not evidence, but yeah, I mean, I think there was just like really kind of loose, in quotes,
Yeah.
quotation marks, evidence. Yeah, no, that was a wacky, wild one, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Have you
Was
guys
indeed.
seen anything about the sovereign citizen movement? I don't think we ever spoke about it
No.
on.
No, what's that?
It's something that I've seen popping up more and more, like in the last few years. but it seems absolutely mental. But it's basically like this kind of weird misinterpretation of common law, and it's this kind of belief that some people have that they claim to not be subject to any government statutes unless they consent to them, because they're claimed to be sovereign citizens. So they don't actually, they don't, they reject kind of taxation as illegitimate and reject social security numbers, driver's licenses, and vehicle registration.
Oh, I do know this. Yeah,
because they think they've got a loophole that makes them immune to government laws and regulations.
Right.
Yeah, they argue that they have no basis in law, and yeah, they're basically saying that they are sovereign and do not belong to the United States. I just see this as basically like people being pulled over by police and then try and argue it to them on TikTok and stuff, and it's always embarrassing.
Yeah.
But that's one that I think, like, how could you possibly think that? One, that's true, and two, that would be recognized and being like, oh, wow, you got us.
Yeah.
And the police would just be like, go about your day, citizen, sovereign citizen. Just bizarre.
It's just,
But that's one that, like,
it's just the rules don't apply to me. That's the that
Yeah,
that just boils
essentially.
down to that attitude. Yeah,
but like
it's
that's one that I don't think we ever got to cover. I think that's a relatively
we
new
didn't.
thing.
No.
yeah.
But it's definitely really interesting. Yeah.
No, maybe we should look at it. Yeah, for a future episode, that'd be good. Add that to the list.
It does sound good.
Yeah.
I have another question from James.
Okay.
Again, Patreon's member James, and it's probably, unless there's something else you want to talk about, it seems like it's a good way to end the episode, because it's a big question,
Okay.
so it could take us some time to answer. So James wants to know: will Martin ever give the trophy back to Alex?
Now's a good
What
time.
trophy?
I think now's a good time to, if you want to reveal, you know, what happened to it, Martin. You know, now's the time to end the conspiracy theory. Let's get to the bottom of this. Truth and reconciliation. Let's
Honestly, right now,
don't say
I
it's in
don't
your
have.
car.
I think I'm not sure where it is, but it could be in my car.
What's it doing there, Martin?
I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. I didn't know where. I knew where it was a few months ago. Now I can't remember. It's probably something boring, Alex. It's probably like in my kitchen cupboard or something. But yeah, just give me your address and I'll send it across. But I've been asking you for like 3 years.
I'm going to. I'm going to call the police.
You don't seem to give me your address ever. So
I think the police need to get involved now.
by the way, guys, I have found like tons of our videos.
Oh, really?
The old videos. Yeah, like
Have you? Yeah.
I mean, there's a few missing, but it seems like there's like at least like, I don't know, 300 or 400.
Whoa!
Wow.
Maybe not that many.
Wow.
When we
Three.
made that many, didn't we? Like 600 in the end, didn't we? Something like that.
Nice. Where have you found that, or can
Yeah,
we
you're gonna
not
have to share
say?
this to
You
us.
have to
You're
share
gonna
that
have
with
to
us.
This is kind of embarrassing happening live.
I
'Cause we get this
suppose-
question a lot.
Yeah.
People saying, "Oh, where are your other videos?" I'm like, "We don't know. We don't have." Them.
Okay, there's probably like 100 like that I've seen here.
Wow.
Okay.
It's still
And this
there.
is on. I was saying, I mean, I can drop the link into the chat. That's no problem, is it? If people
Go
want
for it. Yeah.
it's just a random website.
This
Let's
is
just make
not-
sure they play first.
This isn't going to help us in any way, shape, or form, but go for it. As in,
Oh,
like,
jeez.
You won't be supporting us by watching these videos. These are
No. Just because I know people are pretty keen, aren't they, all the time to.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a website where you can find some of them.
You're going to give everyone viruses now.
Well found.
Oh, 100%. I just want to make sure they. Yeah, it's definitely like some.
Don't click on it. It's a phishing link, everyone. Don't click. Martin just
There
wants
we
your
go.
personal data.
Oh wow. Yeah. Oh yeah. There are some of the
Yes.
newer ones as well.
Some newer ones, some older.
Wow. What a good find.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh. And there are some
For, pe-
conspiracy files in there.
for people listening and you want to watch some of the old ones, you're going to have to just go into the chat now and find it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, well, yeah, there's some I've forgotten we made.
That's a great.
Yeah.
Such a cool find. Wow. And this is all happening live.
Exactly. I've just found the video game conspiracies featuring Chris and Jamie.
That's on there. Oh my god.
That's cool. You, Chris, and Jamie.
We should
fun.
share that with them after this as well.
Oh, we should definitely.
That was a really fun one. I think we spoke about the Saddam Hussein PS2s in that as well.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
That was a really fun one. Nice.
Yeah, there's some conspiracy files ones. There's Phoenix Lights,
Oh, yes.
Silk Road.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god, casual
Very
gamer,
similar.
casual
So much
gamer in
fun.
the chat. And now this will
yeah.
take us hours to answer. Well, it'll take you 2 hours to answer, maybe. Which is the best 007 theme song?
Hey, great question.
And now I'm just going to zone out for a little bit, but
But I feel like Martin's answer is by far the most interesting because don't you have one song that you rate
Much higher than
very
you.
highly?
Yeah.
I think not just higher than
That
me,
you
but
don't
much
like.
higher than most people.
I wouldn't say. I think a lot of people like this song, but it does have its pitfalls, and that's Another Way to Die, the Jack White one. It's where we mainly disagree. Like
It is
on a lot of the
good,
classics, we agree, don't we, Robin? Like
I think
the
so,
the classic James Bond theme is like
yeah.
top tier. Various others, but yeah, that's the one where we definitely disagree. And Alicia Keys, when she comes in, kind of wails a bit over the top. But in terms of the production value, the way the drums sound, the way it builds, like I'm a big fan of that song. Sounds great, but I do understand that there are pitfalls for sure.
It's not the worst Bond song, but I think I can never rank it as high as
It's like a top. I think I can put it as like number 7 or 8 or something.
Oh my no.
Yeah, on my list. I mean, I've got my list. If you want to go into it, I've got my spreadsheet.
Do we have time, Alex? Can we do this?
yeah, go for it. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, come on.
Stop getting Bond wrong. Bond themes ranked. Okay, here we go. I haven't added the new.
This is a
The
spreadsheet
latest
you've made,
one.
Martin.
That came out like 2
Yeah.
2 years
I did this.
ago,
I did this in
so-
October 22.
just before it came. Okay.
Number 1 is the original Bond theme from Doctor No.
Okay.
I mean, some might call that boring, but it's just absolutely classic. Sounds great. Number 2 for me, You Only Live Twice.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
I'll go for the top 5. Number 3, I've got Live and Let Die.
That's the nation's favourite, isn't it?
Is it?
I
Okay.
think they had a
I'm not surprised.
poll and that one in Britain anyway.
I've got number 4, Nobody Does It Better, Spy Who Loved Me.
Yeah, I mean I think that's probably my number 1 actually.
And then I've got number 5, I've got From Russia With Love.
Excellent.
It's my top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bottom 5?
Bottom 5, okay. So bottom, the worst one I've got down. Well, I'll go from 19 to 24, even though there's been another one since. 19 is For Your Eyes Only. I know you really like that one. It's 19th out of 24 for me. 20th is The World Is Not Enough, which actually, looking back on it, I'd probably prefer that. I like the one a lot more than I've let on there.
I'd just like to ask Casual
pretty
Gamer if they're happy. Are they happy about this? Have they
What have they become?
what you've done?
21, The Man with the Golden Gun.
I can see why. Yeah.
Yeah, 22, Octopussy, All Time High.
Oh, depends.
23 is License to Kill. You got a license to
I
kill.
like that one.
And 24, I mean, we can all say it together. Die Another Day.
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty hard to.
It's bad.
That's a great song.
I remember thinking years ago, maybe it was with you, Martin, this conversation, and someone said, "Oh, Die Another Day, it's the worst one," and I said, "Oh, it's not that bad." And they're like, "When did you last listen to it?" And I was like, probably when I last saw the film.
You saw
which was,
once in 2004.
yeah, it's like 2000,
2002, whatever it
nearly
was.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Whatever. I was like, yeah, maybe it is a bad song. I just there's a reason I don't listen to it. But yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, Catch-Up says, I have never managed to watch a Bond film all the way through. I find them a bit dull.
Well, my wife would agree with you.
It's sad.
Yeah,
Well,
I
I've had this dilemma recently. For all the right reasons, post Me Too era. There's another hot term for YouTube to score against this video.
We're really ticking all the buttons today.
Really ticking buttons.
I love ticking buttons.
You know what I mean?
Quite right. A lot of the problems with the Bond movies have been highlighted in recent years, and some, particularly older ones, have dated very badly, especially in terms of their gender politics and even their racial politics. And and then the modern ones for me are a bit too heavy on the action. I'd like a bit more spy espionage stuff going on. But now that I'm a dad, and you think about the fantasy of sitting down with your child and be like introducing your favorite films, and then I was like, actually, Bond is going to be too much work. There's going to have to be like a 5-minute conversation before we watch each film about, so this is when it was made, and this is why this thing happens in it, and you just have to look past that and enjoy these other bits. And maybe if you happen to not like action or spies, then we've got a problem here.
Yeah, right.
And they're going to be like, Dad, this is boring. I want to watch Fast and Furious 12.
Oh my God.
And I will completely agree and be on their side.
Fair enough. Fair enough. No, yeah, you look at them and you're like, actually, how many of them are like? There are quite a few that are a bit kind of, yeah, maybe we can skip that one. Right, go on to the next one. Well, actually, we can skip that one. There's probably like at least half a dozen where I'm like, if I miss it, I miss it.
If I was to be properly discerning and be like, which ones are good films? The older I get, the shorter that list gets.
Yeah, that's understandable. It's the same. It's the same with a lot of like Star Wars and stuff. Big franchises.
Except Fast and Furious, of course.
Of course, yeah.
They're all great films.
Oh, don't get me started on Star Wars. Anyone who's a Patreon supporter will know I had a big rant about Star Wars that one time.
Yeah, we did a Star Wars ranked video, and we might do more of those. We could do a Fast and Furious ranked video for our Patreon and supporters and YouTube members. That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah. We could rank anything, can't we?
We could rank sausages.
Cheese. What's your favourite cheese? What's your favourite cheese, Alex?
What's your favourite cheese?
Why do I feel like we've already done that?
No, what's your favourite cheese? Answer the question. What's your favourite cheese? You won't be judged. Not by me, anyway.
I like a warm camembert.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good choice, actually. Yeah.
That's good.
What do you like to dip in it?
Fingers.
Just my fingers.
That's so disgusting.
Did you know, Alex, that camembert isn't actually soft? It's hard until you touch it.
Oh my God. How have I put up with you both for 150 episodes of this? How have we tolerated each other this long? No, it's
the answer is
dear.
fellas, it's been an absolute joy doing these last 150 episodes with you, and here is to the next 150.
Oh,
Indeedy. And
it has been a pleasure.
I just want to, thank you to Levi as well, saying he finally got to watch us, and he has to check in for Japan from Australia. Well, that sounds fun.
Oh wow!
But he thinks we're some of the best YouTubers that he watches every week, and that's very kind of you.
That's very kind.
Wow.
Very kind of you to say. Yeah. Goodness me.
Well, as long as you enjoy them, we'll keep doing them, I guess.
Indeedy.
Absolutely. Well, there's nothing else to say, I think, except thank you all so much for continuing to watch us and support us this whole time. We are just, very humbled by the fact that you have stuck with us this whole time. And thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. A little trip down memory lane. And we'll see you next week.
Yes.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.